you own a commercial cleaning business, did you know that studies show that it takes 5 to 25 times more to win a new customer than it does to keep an existing one? And in fact, those same studies show that a 5% increase in customer retention results in a 25% increase in bottom line net profit. So if you are making $100,000 per year with your commercial cleaning business net profit, you could be making $125,000 by doing hardly anything else except keeping your existing customers. And actually that same study goes on to show that this change in retention actually can increase your profit up to 95%. Now, that depends on the industry that you're in, the different business types, but in the commercial cleaning industry, keeping your clients forever is the game. So what you're gonna see in this video is how to save your cleaning accounts whenever they are ready to bail, whenever you feel like they are slipping out the door. This way you can experience those increases and ultimately have a commercial cleaning company that runs without you and profitably, and that keeps growing. And real fast, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I'm a 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. Started from scratch, from the ground up, built it up to $1 million per year in less than 5 years, and it runs on less than 5 hours per week. And now I help you do the same. If you want to learn more, check out the links down below. All right, let's dive in. So to best explain the strategy and what you can do, I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight into my own business. Years ago, I had a very valuable account of ours, which we still, thank the Lord, have to this day. And this account, we found out, was actually taking bids from other commercial cleaning companies, not even our own. They were so fed up with what was going on in their facility, they didn't even ask us. They were just planning to cancel us quickly, quietly, and just to give us the drop one day. And I found out through another retention strategy that we use in our business. And I reached out to that client immediately and directly, and these 5 things are gonna flow from what happened. So I'm gonna show you what we did, because we ended up keeping that account, like I said, to this day, and we continue to use parts of this strategy or even the full strategy if needed to keep accounts that are heading out the door for whatever reason. And sometimes we aren't able to keep them, and that's okay. But a lot of times we do, and that is what helps you maintain and build a big commercial cleaning company. And before stepping into number 1, it is worth saying you need to accept full responsibility for the results that are going on inside of the facility. No matter what the reason is that your cleaners have not done a great job or have not made the client happy, you as the owner need to take full responsibility. And if you have an employee, think about this. If you have an employee that has come to you and made excuses for why something wasn't done or why it doesn't look the way it should, whatever the reason, right? It doesn't look good, right? Like you're looking at that employee and you're just like, I just want you to handle it. I just want you to own it. I just want you to not have to bother me with it. I just want you to accept responsibility, because as soon as you accept the responsibility, then you can do something. If you're blaming it on excuses, if you're blaming it on whatever the other things are, then you're essentially telling your client that you don't have control, and therefore they need to get away from you because you're essentially flying with your hands off the wheel. And they want someone in their facility with their hands on the wheel. So it actually works in your favor. I haven't even put number 1 here yet, but this is the prelude to it. You must accept full responsibility for what's going on and be sincere about it. Now, caveat, this scenario is if you have verified and validated that this is a real issue in your company, it's your team's fault, there's without a shadow of a doubt, right? It could be very, very likely it's you, or it is absolutely you. Just go ahead and accept full responsibility and you'll see how this flows. So number 1, the first thing that I did after accepting full responsibility is I offered them a massive credit. Essentially what I told this client was, look, if we provided something to you that wasn't worth you having, then you shouldn't have to pay for it. Think about it. You buy something at the store, it doesn't work out, it's not good, it's broken, whatever it is, it's not what you're expecting, you can always return it with the receipt. And at a much larger scale, that's essentially what we're doing right here. And if you remember those statistics that I shared at the beginning of this video, it costs far more to win a new customer than it does to keep an existing customer. And here's one of the reasons too, because if that customer leaves with a bad taste in their mouth, how are they gonna talk about your company to others? As opposed to if you can give something to keep your reputation protected, to keep them as an existing client and the revenue and everything else going into a more positive direction, that is worth far more than the money you're about to give up. And so that is exactly what I did. In fact, for this client, I gave them an entire month free. Now you might be thinking, Matt, that's a little bit risky, right? To give them a whole month of free cleaning. Couldn't they just take that month of free cleaning and then go with someone new right after that and then just kind of shove you in a corner. Well, yeah, they could, but that's why we have the rest of the strategy in place so that is very unlikely to happen. And that leads right into number 2, which is you must give them the path forward. Or another way of putting it, you need to give them next steps. So what I said was, during this month, if you don't see the improvement that you need to see, then we understand if you do go shove us in a corner. But what I'm going to do is list out a ton of different things that we are going to do to find out the root issues, to work with the staff, to improve what's going on, to increase inspections. I personally started visiting the facility every single day during that month before their occupants even got in there. Now, this was big enough of an account where I was absolutely going to be doing that. But what you want them thinking is, wow, they're going to do all of this extra stuff during this month to where it would seem absolutely unreasonable that this would fail. And also, as a bonus tip, a part of these next steps is I would send that contact an email every single week detailing every single thing we had done and fixed, and it really is unpacking the implementation and how it's going of this process. They have to be kept in the loop. And if you need to send them an email every single day to keep them happy, then it is absolutely worth it. They just want to know that your hands are on the wheel and there's clarity and a path forward. Because here's the other reality of this: even though it costs you a lot of money to win a new commercial cleaning account, to replace old lost revenue, it still costs them to change commercial cleaning companies, and it's very painful. So if you can eliminate the cost of staying with you and you can make it easier to stay with you, it washes out for them. Now, key point, as a part of these next steps, you need to include a timeline. In this scenario, I had a timeline in place for, we have this month, and we're going to do these certain things throughout that month. We're going to implement these things. We're going to be updating you. Also, these are some things we're going to continue doing most likely after that month. You just keep that timeline in mind, because you don't want to be locked in forever having to visit a facility every single day at 6 a.m. But your client also needs to know what to expect, and a clear plan with a clear timeline builds trust and ultimately clarity, which is what they need. Number 3, you can future-proof this by establishing an escalation plan. Essentially, what this does is if they see that this plan that you are implementing right now through whatever timeline it is not working, they know that you have other ideas, other resources, and other options to pull from. So it would look, for example, something like this. These next steps. For the next month, I'm going to be on site every single day, and I'm going to send you an email report of that visit every single day. If for some reason that we're still not seeing improvement, then we're going to also have another person come in, say in the evening, and do the exact same thing, but they're not going to send an email. I'll send you the one summary email every single day, keeping it easy for the client, right? Don't just bombard them. You want to make sure it's efficient and good and easy for them. But you want to have an escalation plan in place. You don't need to have it super detailed with the exact things you can do. You can keep it general, but you need to have something in place so that the client, if they feel like they need to ask you to step into the escalation plan, then they can, right? Options are power. They're what allow people to feel like they have control and levers and buttons to push to get the outputs that they need. All right, number 4, this is going to be a probation period. So probation period is a sub-timeline within this entire process. And this is really what defines what things look like and how long you expect to be doing them until you start to back off some. So these next steps can still go beyond the probationary period. The probationary period is the super intense, highest level of whatever your initial plan is. It's where you're most sensitive about staff and inspections and quality, and you're going to come across a little bit rude maybe to your staff, but they about lost you an account anyways, right? Maybe they should just get fired. But this period is essentially that first part, if you're pretending this is a timeline, right, of the fix. So if we say, right here is the big problem, right here is our probation, and then right here is our verification, and then right here is done. So this is a lot heavier of a workload in here. This is a lot lighter of a workload, but we're still making sure things are done. And then right here, we're good to resume operations as normal. And even if a probationary period sounds a little similar to what you're already doing, it's nice to put, and it's actually very influential, to tell your client, we're going to activate a probationary period in your facility. And so immediately that client's going to put their understanding into what they think of when they hear the word probation. And it's usually going to be to your benefit because it's all about correction, monitoring, and getting things fixed. And that leads to the final piece, which I call the new label. The new label is essentially filling the gap in their mind of their saying, so what's different between what you're doing before from what you're going to be doing now? After all this probation period, after this verification period, after all these things happen, what's different? And it's somewhere through this process that we'll come to them with some sort of root cause discovery, and we'll say, okay, we found out that the real issue here was a misunderstanding around how this specific door worked, and it's happened to every single person. So what we're going to implement is what's called a double door check, for example. And I know that can actually be a thing because we have some accounts where if someone just lets go of the door, normally it would shut, right? But sometimes it doesn't actually latch. So as an example, a double door check would actually really help in that scenario. Now that's just one thing. You may want to make multiple labels to attack the root cause of whatever was going on to cause those issues in that facility. It's really helpful to give it a product name or to label it something. That way they feel like their scope or their service agreement has been amended a little bit to further improve services so that it's kind of like when a bone heals, right? It gets actually stronger. It adds extra bone over it. A double door check, for example, doesn't take more than a few seconds, but it can make a complete difference in the security and safety of a client. So you want to find opportunities through your research, in your quality checks, in whatever you're finding out through this entire process to come up with new labels, simplify them into either one big label or a couple or even a bunch of small ones to give them a list of here's what we're going to do moving forward to make sure that that kind of thing never happens again. And that's an overview of the process that we use to save accounts if they are on their way out the door. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. I hope that this helps you grow your commercial cleaning company by saving accounts for you and to save you money and to be a blessing for you and your family. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone else who also owns a commercial cleaning service. And until next time, keep building.